That's it. Carlos! Alright y'all, it's built by Rob RC. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this RC content, y'all. And today, I'm in the house on the bench, and as you can see, I got some brushless motors lined up on the bench, y'all, okay? This video was prompted by a conversation I was having with a subscriber on the channel who kept having some troubles with his rigs, burning up his ESCs, and puffing his batteries and things of that nature. So upon talking to him, I was able to find out, you know, what brushless motor he was using, what ESC he was using, and what gearing he was using. All right, and more importantly, what did he want to achieve with his 5th scale RC? Was he bashing? Is he speed running? Is he speed bashing? Different motors, different ESCs call for you know, different types of gearing and different types of vehicles. So let's talk about that a little bit today. As you can see, I got some brushless motors lined up that I typically run in my 5th scale low seat or my 5th scale Creighton. So let's keep that in mind. Let's talk about 5th scale on roll regular bashing. So bashing, what bashing means to me is being able to go out there, run through a pack of batteries without worry about temps or anything like that on your system, or sending it for big air or things like that. That's the definition of bashing for me. So let's talk about what motors and just some mild gearing I would recommend if you're bashing, okay? So if you want to bash, if you want to have a good basher, moderate speed, but you want to go through packs, not worry about heat or anything like that, I'll recommend you go with a 560 kV, okay? Especially for a low CDB. Let's just talk about for your low CDB, all right? I recommend the 560 kV, or Highway makes a 650 kV motor, all right? Those are for bashing. You want to go outside, you want to run a track, do a couple laps, that's bashing. You want to have a system that's efficient, that runs cool, and you don't have to worry about burning up your ESC and things of that nature, okay? So I think the DB comes with a stock spur gear of a 50 tooth or 48 tooth. I have an Integer 46 right here. Great gearing for some bashing and some mild speed, okay? If you want to bash with speed, you know, not worry about too much temps or anything like that, put that 46 spur in there, or you could leave the 48 that comes stock with it, 48 or 50, all right, with a 560 kV, and put about a 22 pin on there. That'll get you about 70, 75 miles an hour on 12S. And you'll run smooth. You don't have to worry about anything with this system. You can just bash it back and forth, run it back and forth, go for laps, you know, go for it. You know, the sky's the limit when you're running this brushless motor with that gearing, all right? Next up, I got the 780 up here, right? The 780 is a great motor. One of my favorite motors I like to run for speed, and you can do it for bashing, okay? It comes stock in the DB 8S. This is not a 12S rated motor by manufacturer, but I have ran this motor on 12S, and it ran successfully. Technically, if you look up the motor, look up the KV, 780 is rated for 12. They just don't advertise it because, you know, it's an 8S, an 8S system, an 8S platform that they use on a 5th scale DV when they market it, when they come out with it, okay? So just keep that in mind, all right? It's a great motor to run on 8S. You can gear it up really, really nice. You want to get a little bit more speed out of your system, I would say go with this motor, and besides this one, all right? This one is extreme efficiency. This one is also efficient, but it will also get a little bit warmer because it does, the KV is a little bit higher, especially if you're running on 12S. Now, if you're running something like this on 8S, you know, with that 46 or that 48, with like a 19 tooth pinion, man, go for it, man. The world is yours. You can bash all day. On 12S, you'll get about between 75, 76, 77 miles an hour, but you'll still run very, very efficient, okay? So just keep that in mind, all right? A lot of guys, they get these rigs, and they switch up the spur. They you know, overdo the gearing, and they burn up their systems because they're not aware of gearing, B, motor KVs and voltage, and also your driving style, All right. You know, I do you know, I run for speed. So if you ever look at a speed runner, the guys that run the 1/7 scale limitlesses, the you know, those type of models, those type of model cars, those type of size cars, you know, that's they get about 1 or 2 passes and they come back and they let the car rest. It's the same thing in theory when you off-road speed running, all right? So keep that in mind. Next, I got this 800 kV motor. You know, this is the motor where I say this is the highest kV I would want to go to run 12S. All right, safely and efficiently, without killing your ESC and without killing your lipos. All right, this motor on 12S, geared, and like I said, we keeping it low CDB. You want to run definitely a 46 spur. All right, again, what are you trying to achieve? Are you bashing or are you speed running? All right, you can run this motor to speed run, but 1 or 2 passes, 3 passes at the most, bring it in, check your temps. I recommend if you're gonna run this 800 motor, if you're gonna bash with it, keep that stock 52 spur in there, and keep it to like between a 16 and a 19 to 22 pin. Don't go no higher than a 20. You know, with a 46 on there if you're bashing. Now, if you want to speed run, you want to go for 80, 90 miles an hour in your DB, all right? You can get that Vitavon 44 2 spur, all right? You can run a high 2 pin, but you better not bash with it, all right? Again, like I already talked about, bashing is running it back and forth on the field without stopping, you know, doing some mild jumps, that's bashing. When you talk about speed running, 1 or 2 passes, come in, check the speed of your car, put a heavy fan setup on it, and keep it cool. All right. Also, if you're in this realm of speed running, speed bashing, check those logs. All right. Get you an ESC where you can check data logs. All right. The Max 5 G2 Plus allows you to log on the fly. All right. But I don't recommend that ESC for a big 5th scale vehicle if you want to push that vehicle over 80 miles an hour. The ESC just can't handle it. It's only rated for 330 amps. I've burnt up multiple ESCs. They're great for speed running applications, limitlesses, 1/7 scale cars. You know, those ESCs are great for that. We talk about the Max 5 G2 Plus, okay? You put it in a 5th scale rig, you better gear it mildly, especially a DB. Keep it light and check your temperatures at all times. All right. So next, let's go with the danger zone, okay? The danger zone. TP motors, all right? People running TP motors online. You know, they say, oh, TPs, they run fast. They high performance motors, but man, they are not efficient. And if you don't know what you do with them, you will burn up your ESC, your car be on fire, your motor will lock up, everything of that nature, all right? And this is the 1010 kV motor. It is rated for 12S, but like I said, I do not recommend this motor to the casual person who just want to get out there and just casually run. This motor is for serious on off-road speed purposes only, okay? 1 or 2 passes, mild gearing at the most, 1-to-1 gearing, because this 1010 kV motor, it already burns hot. It's already 1010 kV. And you run on 12S, that's a lot of volts to run on this motor. It's going to spin very, very fast when you're running this 1010 kV. Acting a lot of amperage through your batteries and through your ESC. Highly stressful for your ESC and your lipos, okay? Especially if you're running somewhere where it's hot, the summertime. You down south in the southern regions where you get 90 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour on an average day. You know, stay away from these bad boys right here, man. Stay away from them, knowing when you can run them. I usually run these motors 1 pass, 2 passes only, and I have a serious fan setup blowing on 3S batteries at all time, just to keep this motor cool. It's going to pull high amperage out the ESC. Again, highly stressful for your ESC, okay? I don't recommend this motor. Stay away from it, all right? Stick with these over here. Stick with your 560s. Stick with your 780s. Stick with your 800s. Run it for 12S. You can run a 650 motor. They make a 650 motor can. Castle has the 520s. They have the 680s. All great high efficiency motors. All right. You notice the can is bigger. dissipates heat a lot better than these 56 millimeter cans. So if you just want to get out there and not worry about any kind of temperatures, any kind of faults, any kind of fires or failures to your ESC, stick with these motors right here. You gear them right, you can get high performance out your vehicles. You can run them and you shouldn't have any problems, especially in the hot times of the summer, the hot days of summer. You definitely have to watch your temps. All right, invest in yourself a heat gun, and just get out there and run the RCs. You won't know how your electronics and your RCs and things will behave if you don't run. All right, you run once a month, you run here, you run there, you're just gonna have an issue, and you're always just gonna be chasing problems. So get out there, get experience, learn those vehicles, watch some YouTube videos. A lot of guys out there talking about motor KVs and voltage and gearing and stuff like that. I'm not going to give you a specific number on what I recommend for each gearing, but this is just a baseline of what you guys should be doing when you're running your low CDBs. All right, 46 tooth spur, 48 tooth spur, 52 spur if you want efficiency. If you want to go for top speed, you get that Vidavon 44 tooth spur. You put it on there and you watch your temps. All right, you watch your temps, you pull logs. If you don't know how to pull logs, learn it. Okay, I'm not a big pro at checking logs and the voltage spike and the voltage drop and all that kind of stuff, but what's most important is that amp pull. Okay, that amp draw on the ESC. Check that number. You don't want to have it you don't want to have it too high. When I'm running these motors right here, especially this 560 gear real mild, we've run this motor to 90 miles an hour. I got it up to 90 miles an hour in low C, all right, with a max 4 and on 12S, 90 miles an hour, right? I was only pulling about 515 amps, between 515 and 550 amps. That's real efficient for 90 miles an hour, all right? Especially out of this motor, okay? And the steel was cool to the touch. Steel was cold. When I brought it back, you could just bash it 90 mile an hour back and forth, but you have to gear it aggressively. You definitely have to get that Vidavon 44 if you want to pull that speed out of this motor, all right? But again, with these three motors right here, you could do the same thing with each. You want to pull 90 out of here, you want to pull 90 out of here, you want to pull 90 miles an hour out of here, you can do it. It's just a difference in gearing and knowing what you're doing with the RC. So make sure you pay attention to that when you're out running. The 780, all right, you get 90 miles an hour, put the 780 in, all right, put a 44 or go with the 46, gear it appropriately, get out there, do 2 or 3 runs, check your temps, go home, plug your RC up, check a log, and see where you are for a baseline. I've pulled in the Creighton. I mean, I talk about low C. I use this in my stretch Creighton. The best I pulled out of this motor was 97 miles an hour with the Cobra HV5, not even the Ghost one, and I end up pulling about 432 amps to go 97 miles an hour. So I was pretty good. Good baseline to be at with this motor right here. 800 is about the same kind of gearing, same kind of deal with this. It's only 20 more kV off. If you put these motors up to a kV tester, a lot of times they're not going to be a true to kV anyway. Like I checked this 780 one time. It wasn't even 780, it was 735. And I plugged up to 800. It wasn't even 800, it was like 775, something like that. So they come a little short out the manufacturer on the kV when you check them. So, be mindful of that as well. All right. Also, run good batteries, okay? Run good batteries if you're running for speed. I recommend a 2SP pack. I love 2SP packs. High density LiPo batteries. They run in parallel, so it evenly distributes the power evenly throughout the LiPo, and it just helps with voltage drop and all those type of things, which is systems. All right, so just keep that in mind. And like I said, the TPs, this TP I have run it in the Fisco, like I said, but I'll run this thing inside like a Limitless or something like that, and it's still good speeds. I ran this thing, well, not a 1010, a 1356, which is the same size cam. High KV, 160 miles an hour in Limitless. With this right here, probably get like 140, 150, with this can as well. Just gear it appropriately. This can right here, I didn't talk about too much, but this is 1100. All right, 1100 is only rated for 8S, but the Castle 1100 kV motor is rated for 10S. Okay, you can run this motor on 10S. It works great, geared the right way. You get the same speeds if you're running 12S on these lower kV motors. If you know the common thing with these brushless motors, right? You can let's just say the goal is 100. You can get to 100 70-30, 60-40, 80-20. It's all about the kV and the voltage you're running and your gearing. So get familiar with those three things. Don't burn up your ESC. Learn get you a good ESC. The new ESC that I recommend now for you guys is the Cobra HV5, the Ghost. It is not for beginners. You will burn it up if you gear it too high. It doesn't have a governor on it. You can set the governor if you like, but it comes unlocked, and it pushes to the limits. All right, it's a great ESC, but also the Max 4, still a great ESC. I've seen guys pull, the Max 4 is only rated for what, 300 amps. I've seen guys pull 670 amps out of that ESC, and that was the first ESC I used to pull 90 miles an hour out of my Creighton, 93 miles an hour. I think I did 96 as well. So still a great ESC, but there's a lot of stuff out there. The Mad Maxes are great ESC. Just a little bit abrupt for me as far as like the break-in and the reverse. They got to work that out before I personally would want to buy one. But the guys that run them, they love them. I've seen them perform very, very well. So if you want to get that as well. But I'm good with my Castle ESCs. Love Castle ESC. Great customer service, and they're right here in the United States, so if anything goes wrong, it's not an issue with getting a new one or warrantying it or something like that, or talking to them directly. All right, so just a little video prompted by a subscriber, so I hope this helps you. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and keep watching for things that's coming up later on for built by Rob RC. Airpod LiPo was up. These are the 4S packs, you guys already know. And like I said, this thing 2026, they're gonna do big things. All right, till next time, built by Rob. I'm out of here. Oh, I know this video is over, but before I go, buy yourself some Akil tires, sponsored by Akil, for the 110 mile an hour build this year. They're some of the best off-road speed run tires on the market. I'm gonna take this time off to shout out some of my members on the channel. Shout out to Big Vern, shout out to Pete, Road Rage, Wayne, Steve, my boy Hank on the channel. Thanks for being members. Also, hit up Hyperflow Fans, sponsored by them as well. Use my discount code BBR HFF for 5% off your order. That's BBR HFF, 5% for your order. And yeah, hope this video helped out. You remember, the higher KV, the higher the RPM. You geared high enough, it's going to demand a lot from your system. So be mindful of that and stay aware out there and be safe out there, y'all. Till next time, I'm out of here.